Ontario teen who was struck and killed while jaywalking is now launching a $4 million lawsuit against the City of Mississauga and the driver involved. 15-year-old Madeleine Petrielli was attempting to cross a busy road 4 months ago when she was hit by an SUV and died. Now, this lawsuit alleges 5 streetlights were out near the intersection when she was struck, making it harder for drivers to see.
Madeleine has her consequences for her choice. And she's been held accountable in the worst way. And I want the driver to be held accountable for his part, and I want the city to be held accountable for their part.
Now, the lights were eventually fixed and the speed limit has been reduced in the area. Joining me now is Mike Smitiuch. He is the lawyer representing the family of Madeleine Petrielli. Mike, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, certainly an emotional and tough press conference yesterday. Can I ask you just to explain the case, if you could, because it's based not only on these 5 streetlights being out, but the city was negligent, the City of Mississauga, because they weren't repaired in a timely manner?
That's absolutely correct. On the night of December 2nd, as we know, Madeleine was crossing Britannia Road using a crosswalk. So that's the first one. A lot of people have been saying she was jaywalking, but not in the conventional sense. She was using a crosswalk. She was there with her boyfriend. The boyfriend made it to the median. She didn't, and she was killed. As it turns out, 5 street lights were out in the area, and we believe that lighting played a central role in her death.
Okay, and those lights had been out for, is it over a week, correct?
At least a week, yeah. And the City of Mississauga has a policy which says that for an intersection like this, in that busy area, they need to be repaired within 1 day.
All right. In yesterday's presser, you also quantified the situation with the lights this way. You said that the standard is anywhere between 15 to 22 lux, but you had an expert actually come in, and they claim with the lights out, including the one, by the way, over the crossing, the intersection, the lighting was only like a 4.9, or not even a third of the minimum standard?
That's true, and that's outrageous and unacceptable, especially when lives are at stake. Madeleine paid the ultimate price with her life. So the point of what we're doing and the point of the family is to try to prevent this from happening again, to hold the city accountable. We had to go out and get our own engineering assessment because the city wasn't forthcoming with answers. Yeah, okay. Named in this suit is the City of Mississauga, the region of Peel as well? That's correct.
Yeah, and the driver?
The driver as well.
Yeah, okay. Let me ask you about the driver, though, because would those lighting conditions not have impacted the driver as well?
Certainly. I think it works both ways. That we have questions on how the driver didn't see Madeleine. She was there with another individual, her boyfriend. The boyfriend had a reflective patch on his coat. So we have big questions on how he didn't see Madeleine and her boyfriend, and so lighting certainly would have made a difference. There are statistics which show that fatalities at crosswalks can be cut down involving pedestrians by 45 to 80% with good lighting.
All right, important to note, though, that this driver has not been charged, actually remained at the scene. Madeleine was jaywalking at the time of the incident, technically.
Correct. Yeah, as I say, she was using a crosswalk. She was at a busy intersection.
But crossing against the light?
She was crossing against the light.
All right. So surely something the city will use, I'm sure, in its defense here. Can they effectively argue that this tragedy would not have taken place had Madeleine just waited for that light?
I think they're going to have a difficult time because the reason that these minimum standards are in place, the reason why good lighting is required is to prevent this exact type of tragedy from happening. So I think that will be a difficult argument, especially when their own policy says we need to repair these within a day, and we know that 5, not 1, but 5 lights were out.
All right, we will watch this case with interest. Lawyer Mike Smitiuch, really appreciate the time, and thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.